Zhao Wenzhuo sneered inwardly. After all, he was a cultivator. How could a mere mortal hunter possibly hit his storage bag? Did they really think he was drunk? He had intentionally let the bag be shot, scattering its contents all over the ground, creating an opportunity to launch a sneak attack. If he had directly reached for the storage bag, his senior brother would have immediately been alerted. Given the distance between them, even if he made the first move, it might not have hit the target. By using the pretext of picking up the scattered items, he lured his opponent closer and at the same time, picked up a talisman to launch a sudden attack. The opponent wouldn't have had time to react. This fat middle-aged man also wanted to pocket some pills for himself, which is why he fell into the trap. Zhao Wenzhuo, you will die a horrible death. Ding Hai instantly understood what had happened, his eyes turning blood red. But soon, he was forced to engage in battle with the bear demon. However, the bear demon's strength far exceeded his expectations. Having reached the mid-stage of spirit communion, once it got close, death was inevitable. His fate was already sealed. Zhu Hai was stunned, taking a long time to process what had just happened. Goodness, the snake catchers are turning on each other. Zhu Hai clicked his tongue in amazement. This scene had truly opened his eyes. Senior brother Ding, don't blame me. We've both been stuck at the early stage of key refining for years, but that spiritual item can only help one of us break through. I had no choice but to do this, Zhao Wenzhuo said apologetically. Before leaving, he didn't forget to finish the job. He took out a windblade talisman, activated it and shot 2 blades at Ding Hai and 1 at Li San. He also shot at 2 villagers who had witnessed the scene, killing all the witnesses. Then, he took out a strange horn flute and blew it towards the sky, producing a wolf's howl. This flute would attract a pack of wolves to devour all the corpses, leaving no trace. His actions were so practiced it was almost ridiculous. After finishing, Zhao Wenzhuo picked up the remaining pills. Finally, he looked with some pain at the broken wine jar, sighed, and turned to leave. Senior brother Ding, I really went all out to put on this show. He wasn't actually pained by the wine, but by the pills, which he used for his daily cultivation. To make the act more convincing, he had paid a considerable price. Meanwhile, 100 feet away, Ding Hai, covered in blood and planning to use a talisman for a last-ditch attack on Zhao Wenzhuo, let out a desperate roar and threw the talisman at the bear demon. Boom! With a loud explosion, both figures were blasted away. Ding Hai's limbs were blown off, his head exploded, and he died on the spot. The bear demon was also severely injured, its fur charred black and one eye blinded. Not long after Zhao Wenzhuo left, the howls of wolves could be heard in the distance. The arrival of the wolf pack meant no one present could survive. Zhu Hai had no interest in paying attention to these matters. He just wanted to end this quickly and find a new place. He couldn't stay here any longer. Not only had a bunch of people died, but the place also reeked of alcohol. Zhu Hai seriously wondered if he had offended the mountain god and been cursed. Had he done anything to offend? This place is not safe to stay in for long. I need to recover quickly. Zhu Hai took a deep breath, activated his cultivation technique, and began to absorb the spiritual key in the air, gradually regaining sensation. Gradually, a large amount of spiritual ki from the wine and pills began to seep out. which Zhu Hai absorbed into his body, slowly warming his cold body. Zhu Hai's eyes focused on the wine in front of him. This was spirit wine, consumed by cultivators, infused with herbs, venomous snakes, turtles, and various other spiritual items, giving it considerable spiritual properties. The pills had further increased its spiritual ki. Just by smelling it, Zhu Hai felt a surge of spiritual ki. There's a saying that young people shouldn't drink, but I'm already an adult. A taste shouldn't be a problem, right? Zhu Hai hesitated for a moment, then decided to give it a try. He first licked a drop with his tongue and immediately, a spicy taste spread from his tongue into his body, invigorating him and raising his body temperature. Zhu Hai waited for a moment, and when no adverse effects appeared, the spiciness gradually faded. What a strange taste! He licked a few more drops, and the fiery sensation returned, sending a rush of heat to his brain. His cold body rapidly warmed, the stiffness and numbness fading, and he even felt a bit euphoric. Zhu Hai's eyes lit up. He leaned forward and took a big gulp. The spiciness hit his throat and shot up to his head, intensifying the dizziness. I'm feeling it, I can't hold back anymore. Zhu Hai no longer hesitated. He followed the cave and drank all the spirit wine he could find, not leaving a single drop. For the wine that had seeped into the soil, Zhu Hai simply ate the soil. At this moment, waves of scorching, volatile energy surged into his meridians and flesh. Zhu Hai felt as if his stomach was on fire, the heat spreading throughout his body almost unbearable. But soon, he adapted to the sensation. What a strong after effect. So this is what wine is, haha. Zhu Hai was ecstatic and quickly focused on refining the energy. As time passed, Zhu Hai suddenly felt his consciousness drifting, as if he were floating in the sky. What's happening to me? Zhu Hai looked up at the cave entrance, only to see it multiply into 3, 5, 8. Huh, why are there 8 entrances? Zhu Hai looked puzzled. His body grew hotter, power surged within him, and he felt an endless strength that needed to be released. A surge of violent emotion suddenly rushed to his brain. Who the hell made you 8? Stop messing around and go back to 1. Zhu Hai roared angrily, his tail slamming against the cave wall as he shot towards the entrance. With a loud boom, the entire cave collapsed under the immense force, rocks flying everywhere as if a bomb had exploded underground, shaking the ground. The wolf pack was startled, looking on in confusion. They saw a long, thin black shadow shoot up from the distance and crash to the ground. When they realized it was just a snake that had been blown away, the wolves ignored it and resumed their feasting. The cold wind blew, rustling the trees, and snowflakes fell. Snow began to cover the ground, blanketing it in white. Unbeknownst to anyone, the world had turned into a snowy expanse. At this moment, the wolf pack surged from all directions, pouncing on the corpses. A few survivors also met a tragic end, their screams echoing as the wolves brought them down. As for the massive bear demon, one eye was blind, most of its fur was burnt, and it limped as it walked, its bones likely broken. The wolves circled the bear, eyeing it warily. Initially, 2 wolves attacked, but the bear demon swatted them dead with a single paw, deterring any further attempts. Roar! The bear demon roared, and the wolves retreated, not daring to provoke it. Zhu Hai looked at the snowy forest, feeling dizzy and disoriented. The sky no longer seemed like the sky, and the ground no longer seemed like the ground. His snake skin was so hot it turned red, melting the snow it touched. Besides the heat and dizziness, he also felt an overwhelming hunger. I'm so hungry. Huh? Why are there so many rabbits? Zhu Hai stared at the wolves attacking the humans, looking puzzled. In his eyes, countless rabbits appeared, multiplying rapidly. Curious, Zhu Hai crawled over, only to find that the rabbits didn't run away, but bared their teeth and growled at him. Damn it, even rabbits dare to be arrogant with me. Do you think you're wolves? Zhu Hai's temper flared. Without a second thought, he lunged forward, biting and swallowing the wolf that had bared its teeth at him.